50 Cent is ready to expose Diddy. 50 Cent's on a mission to spill the tea on Diddy with his new Netflix docuseries, and it's set to drop some serious bombshells. After Diddy settled 2 assault lawsuits, one of which went viral, 50 Cent has cranked up his public disapproval of Diddy. He's now working on a Netflix docuseries called Diddy Do It? That pushes on making a tell-all about his controversies in depth. Even though Diddy was once considered one of the most influential hip-hop producers, he now faces major backlash after his
50 Cent has confirmed a second season of his Diddy documentary, Sean Combs. The Reckoning is on the way. This installment reportedly shifts focus to Janice Combs and her role behind Bad Boy Entertainment. Unlike the first release, this one is going straight to YouTube with unfiltered, never-before-seen footage promising an even sharper, more revealing look inside the story.
Yeah, my mom's good. Well, let me introduce you to my mom. Call Ma Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Ma?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
Diddy's story begins in Harlem, where tragedy struck early. His father, a known local figure, was killed while Diddy was still a young child. His mother, Janice, stepped in afterward, turning their home into a hub for important gatherings and influential visitors. It was in those rooms, insiders claim, that a young Diddy got his first real look at how power, reputation, and influence operated.
He came out defending her son, man. How you feel about that? She made a comment saying that he's not a monster.
I guess this is my newfound career, so I'm gonna say what on my mind and what I think, brother. First of all, that's his mother. Gonna write her indifference. She gonna lie, steal, kill, and protect her child. That's what she's supposed to do. But the apple don't fall far from the tree, man. You got to realize that. You know, he didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big time drug dealer in the whole 9 yards. You understand? He didn't get this from his daddy. You got to realize, man, you know, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also Ladies of the Night.
According to the documentary, Janice was ambitious from the start, using her connections to secure her standing in Harlem. After her husband's death, Fledglia focused her energy on shaping her son's path alongside her own rise. Their living room reportedly became a stage where a young Diddy would perform and absorb attention, an early education, sources suggest, in presence, influence, and the spotlight.
Diddy mother might be the originator of the freak-offs. All right, so tomorrow Peacock is dropping. According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having sex. I mean, that was just their normal. And the doc, when talking about the parties, Tim says, verbatim, "That's what we were privy to. This was what we were fed."
More intense picture of Diddy's upbringing emerges as insiders describe Janice's influence as calculated. Sources, including Gene Deal, allege her guidance shaped him early to command attention and understand influence, lessons they claim later fueled his rise in the music industry. These remain claims from the documentary and have not been independently verified.
Could take her palms and bend over and put them down on the floor. Not bend over, but she could stand straight up and put her palms on the floor, bruh. He's saying that about his mother. Who describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way? And then, you know, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. That's them, that's their whole thing, man. But that was a little kind of weird for me. And then his mother wore the same white fingernail polish that Cassie described that he liked to see her and other models in when she was describing her lawsuit. And what's crazy to me is that, man, it seemed like him and his mother had this, I don't want to get too deep, man.
Patterns from Diddy's early life, the documentary argues, later surfaced in the empire he built, from his high-profile events to the public image he projected. Janice, sources claim, remained a constant presence behind the scenes, subtly guiding his direction throughout his career.
And do you remember this, bro? Check it out. People tell off on themselves so much, man, and I don't understand when people don't catch it. Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs. Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did notice that, yep.
That's from the Diddy freak off party. And I'm going to say allegedly.
So let me ask you this. You knowing her at one point, you knowing her personally, is she the kind of person that, you know, will be a part of a freak off or no?
I think that she liked to party and she partied with young people. She's always been like that. She always copied or emulated Little Kim and Mary J. Blige. Or they emulated her. The blonde hair, the nails, the high boots, the age-appropriate, inappropriate.
Deal points to an intense bond between Diddy and his mother. After his father's death, he alleges Janice placed him in the position of man of the house, handing him heavy responsibility at a young age. Over time, he claims her influence extended into his social life, public image, and major decisions.
Is physical or mental with a mother and a son. So I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know, but they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off. She was ever at that type of party. But you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak off.
Cassie has reportedly described unusual patterns within Diddy's household, pointing to Janice's influence as touching nearly every part of his life, from distinct family routines to strict traditions that, sources say, created an intense environment shaping him in ways few outsiders understood.
Like,
yeah, with the blonde hair and yeah, and all of that. I mean, somebody
really
asked a question: what kind of man puts his hands on his mother? The same kind of man that parties with his mom, the same kind of man who kisses his mom in the mouth, the same kind of man who seems to have accurate knowledge that his elderly mother can put both of her hands, her palms, on the floor and while she's standing up, bent over.
Oh damn, I ain't seen that one. Oh.
You never seen the Instagram video where he was talking about how his mom was still young and spry and how she still liked the party and how they was getting a IV drip?
Oh. Damn.
And she was kissing him in the mouth on the video. It was like, yeah, my mom can bend over and touch the floor with her palms. It's a very, very, very weird relationship.
Sources describe a childhood marked by chaos and heavy influence. Even as a boy, insiders claim Janice ran a constant social hub out of their home. Observers reportedly saw it as an open secret, and in that setting, the documentary suggests Diddy learned early lessons in control, structure, and PowerPoint.
With her, I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-offs.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak offs. And this guy lives in Georgia right now. And he told me that he was a stick-up kid back in the day. And one time he had robbed one of their spots. And he went back and he had got the money and gave them their money back and everything like that. And he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more of a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers and athletes. You could tell by I could tell that Miss Combs at the time, and actually saw her like young guys. She came at me a couple of times back in my heyday, before the extra 75 pounds back then. And the reason I left Bad Boy wasn't only because of her advances, it's because I got tired of a lot of the...
Janice has denied the documentary's claims. It's worth noting these remain allegations, and neither she nor Diddy has pursued legal action against 50 Cent or Netflix over them, though the absence of a lawsuit is not confirmation of any claim's accuracy, and both parties are entitled to the presumption of...
About the Netflix documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning. In a statement to Deadline, she said, "These inaccuracies regarding my son Sean's upbringing and family life are intentionally done to mislead viewers and to further harm our reputation." She also maintains she was not an abusive parent and says that Diddy never slapped her, as previously stated.
The documentary alleges Janice taught Diddy the business side of the industry, and while he served as the public face of Bad Boy, claims suggest key assets remained under her control. Footage reportedly shows her managing the label's finances, with Diddy signing key documents in a way sources describe as designed to protect assets. Though this framing comes from the documentary sources and hasn't been independently confirmed.
I think it's Diddy. It's Janice Combs. Janice Combs is Bad Boy. Man. You don't actually sign to Diddy. His name is on a dotted line, but you actually sign it to Janice Combs.
Did he ever tell you why that is, or do you understand?
Now that I'm older, I know exactly what it is. It's a paper trail, so nothing can come bite me. If you come for me, you ain't coming for me. I ain't got nothing.
This raises a question the documentary poses directly. Why did Janice retain ownership while Diddy ran the label day to day? In December 1991, Diddy hosted a celebrity charity basketball game at City College of New York, where a crowd surge led to a stampede that tragically killed 9 people. Facing lawsuits from victims' families, the documentary suggests this incident may explain why asset control stayed with Janice going forward.
In 2010s, Diddy was really prospering, music, business, fashion. And one of the things that he had said, what he alleged in the documentary, and again, this is an allegation from him, was that the name Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs's name was not really involved in that on the corporate side. And one of the things he's saying is the reason for that was to avoid having to pay any liability from, the devastating basketball game that had happened in the early 90s, where he was the subject of wrongful death lawsuits because of the multiple deaths that had occurred as a result of that basketball game that Diddy was behind organizing. So that was really, surprising to hear.
Yeah, that was a big allegation, because the families of the victims killed in that stampede, it was horrible. We're talking about December 28th, 1991. Combs, fellow rapper Heavy D, they hosted this charity basketball game. The game took place at the gymnasium of the City College of New York. And according to the New York Daily News, before the basketball game started, people who weren't let inside, they broke a window, swarmed toward the entrance of the gym, all went down a staircase. The doors at the bottom of those stairs open towards the stairs, not towards the gym. So once a crowd got down there, they couldn't get the doors open and people started being crushed. 9 people died. Dozens of others were injured. And there were no criminal charges that were ever filed against anyone for the stampede, but multiple families.
Gene Deal, who says he witnessed the event firsthand, has placed blame on Diddy, alleging poor security and ignored warnings. These are Deal's personal claims and have not been established as fact. The tragedy remains a serious and sensitive subject, given the loss of life involved.
At City College, you understand? I was there. I was doing security. My team was supposed to have the outside. Puff came to me the day before we were supposed to do the job there and told me that Heavy D didn't want us to do the security outside. I had 18 men ready to do the security outside with my dogs, like I always do. People knew how we used to roll. We would have the pits, the Rockwilders, you understand? You know, we had that outside locked up. So anybody try to bum rush, anybody do that, we had the gates, the whole 9 yards. So we could stop all that. You know how people gonna get down in Harlem. You understand? So, and then when you got LL Cool J, you got Mike Tyson coming through there, and they coming through the front door so people see them. So they gonna go crazy. LL was the hottest thing out at that time. Mike Tyson was the hottest thing out at that time. They got all kinds of stars and people in there already. They was coming through the back. They came through the front. And it caused the door to be bum rushed. But if they had the gates up, if they had the dogs, and with the help of the police, that shit would have never happened, bro. That shit would have never happened. I was there. I saw it. I saw Jessica run down the steps after she grabbed the money box because my man Eddie was protecting her. And Eddie's the one called me on the walkie-talkie and said, yo, Jessica just locked me in outside the gym, Gene. You couldn't go down the steps after they bum rushed the door. You understand? I had to run around the whole gym on the outside, around the gym, down the steps, run across the basketball court, and open the front door. When I opened that one door, because it pushed inside, people start squeezing through that. Then I just kept doing the doors, and people was coming in there, falling dead, right out, just falling out right there. And once they got in there, they just fell out. It was crazy, bro. You know, he just wanted us to do inside the gym to make sure that nobody, you know, be over the celebrities like that. That's what he wanted my team to do. But most of the celebrities gonna have their own security anyway. You know what I'm saying? That was just a way to cut our security off anyway. So he cut the security and he got the FOIs, and the FOIs left their post, and that's how the people bum rushed the door, and 9 people died by going down those corridors.
And you blame Diddy for that?
Yeah, I do.